50 years ago, a young musician from Liverpool made a record. And on this record, he asked us to do one simple thing. Imagine. He assured us it would be easy if we tried. But instead of that elusive brotherhood of man, we imagined the Cold War and the space race. We dreamed up bigger weapons and smaller cars. We imagined computers to think for us and devices to control our lives. We imagined reusable spaceships as we put satellites into space and took trees out to the ground. Then we linked it all together into one big web. But as the world got smaller and space got bigger, we started to reimagine. We reimagined business booms and stock market crashes. We dreamed up new ways of talking and better ways of moving. We reimagined energy and finally started to focus on sustainability. We reimagined intelligence and created new realities. And the more we immersed ourselves in this tech world, the more we realized that something was missing. So we reimagined education. Well, I know you think I'm a dreamer, but you're about to see that I'm not the only one. Because today we're celebrating big dreamers who have looked beyond blackboards and chalk and are manifesting the vision of 1 billion empowered and educated young people who will imagine a world beyond what we know. Imagine what that world will be like. And as we close off the QS Reimagine Education Awards 2021, let's join and celebrate all the winners. Let's celebrate innovation. Welcome to our grand finale.
Hello everyone, I'm Ben Sauter, Senior Vice President at QS, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to this, the main event, the grand finale of the QS Reimagine Education 2021 Awards Programme. Thank you for joining us this week. It's been a fantastic week of innovation showcases and deep content, some fascinating panels that we've been able to engage with and participate in. Hopefully you've really enjoyed our conversations around the future of learning, the future of universities, and today in particular, the future of work. So what have we got lined up for you today? Well, the final outcomes of 3 awards programs. The first, the People's Choice Award, the one that's voted for by you during this conference in the Innovators Showcase, where you've been able to vote for any of the 160 shortlisted entries for the Reimagine Education Awards this year. Then, the Global EdTech Award, sponsored by Google Cloud, and finally, the Global Education Award, sponsored by QS. This is the 8th edition of the QS Reimagine Education Awards, and each year we are surprised by the new discoveries, the new thinking, the new innovations that are brought before our eyes to be showcased through this conference. It's the culmination of a year-long program for us, discovering, identifying, and ultimately selecting the leaders in global education innovation. But we recognize that for many of you, many of those waiting for these results, many of the applicants, it's many more than just 1 year that we're recognizing through this week's activities. So congratulations to all of those that made the shortlist, all of those category winners that we've recognized so far, and good luck to all of those who've been inspired by what we've seen this week as you begin to prepare your mental thinking for next year's applications. Without further ado, we will move into the People's Choice section of today's program. So, a big drum roll for the People's Choice Awards. You have all cast literally thousands of votes for your favorite shortlisted project over the course of the last few days. That has been a very rewarding level of engagement for us. It's fantastic to see you all really plugging in, looking at all those videos and figuring out what people are doing and hopefully identifying some partners that you might be able to work with in your own context over the course of the next 12 months. So without further ado, we are going to move into announcing the winner of the People's Choice Award. And the winner is...
Put yourself back in your college shoes. How much knowledge can you recall? And was studying always fun or easy? Probably not. Many students experience academic boredom, but even more have overwhelming anxiety because they can't handle nor organize the vast amount of content. And unfortunately, they're often left alone. Studying remains a lonely task. And the result? Most students never fulfill their potential. At Brian, we aim to accompany students throughout their academic studies by digitalizing the learning process entirely. We aspire to help students reach their personal best learning outcomes. Brian accomplishes this by integrating learning and assessment in iterative loops. This allows us to determine every student's exact knowledge level, learning type, and engagement. This insightful real-time data empowers us to adapt and thus optimize the learning process based on the needs of each individual student. For example, we identify and address knowledge gaps with suitable content. We connect new knowledge to existing knowledge. We optimize repetitions in terms of time, and we pair students with the complementary levels of knowledge to leverage social learning benefits. In a nutshell, Brian is social, data-driven, and engaging learning platform to perfect studying. More than 4,000 students have participated in our first testing phase at the University of St. Gallen. We have by now recorded over 6 million student responses, and first analyses show that the learning platform Brian had a significant positive impact on exam scores. We are here today to learn from your feedback, recruit enthusiastic people, and to meet potential investors for 2022. Please feel free to reach out.
One of the things I spoke about in my opening address on Monday was the sense of wonder, that sort of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory-like wonder that we experience at QS upon seeing some of the entries that get pushed through into our showcase stage of Reimagine Education. Some of the ideas are just spectacular, science fiction in some cases they seem at the time, and what some of them have gone on to achieve after being successful at Reimagine Education is a whole story in itself. We could and perhaps should compile a book of some of those stories, but just to touch on a couple of them: Duolingo, Beju, Labster, Smart Sparrow, Precision OS. These are just a few of the amazing successes that have gone on to achieve dramatic things after they've participated in Reimagine Education. The list also includes Osmosis, Knowledge Diffusion. They were the Reimagine Education winner in 2015, and just 12 months on, Osmosis reported that the impact that had been contributed to by the visibility through our competition led to a triple-digit growth in users, revenue and partners, more than 5 million views on their videos that were by that time then featured on YouTube. Osmosis has gone on to greater success and now heralds well over 500,000 users, is widely covered and is seriously contributing to medical education in multiple locations around the world. They've recently announced that they've become part of Elsevier, and their ascending trajectory and their opportunities for the future have reached still further heights. What a fantastic story, and a story that began just with a couple of people having a good idea that could help themselves and people like them. We want to give you a little bit of a sense of what Osmosis is, and then we'll hear from one of their co-founders in terms of what they have gone on to achieve.
Osmosis is a powerful health learning platform that aims to build a more caring world and is used by millions of learners globally. Our story began with Shiv and Ryan. two medical students from Johns Hopkins University who started a crowdsourced question bank. These budding student doctors knew that there had to be a better way to learn medicine more effectively and efficiently. They took leave from medical school to develop a learning platform to help medical students. It turned out that future nurses, PAs, veterinarians, dentists, pharmacists, and so many others, including caregivers and people with health conditions, were also looking for better ways to learn. Medical topics can be complex and difficult to understand. Osmosis's videos improve understanding of difficult concepts by breaking them down into short, digestible videos, helping students learn faster and save time studying. In addition to videos, Osmosis helps learners retain important information longer with thousands of assessment items and evidence-based learning techniques, so the information sticks through classes and board exams. At Osmosis, we believe learning should be fun. Our visual style not only helps communicate difficult concepts by grounding them with visual memory anchors, but it's full of fun characters and engaging animations that foster the joy of learning. Osmosis isn't just about preparing students for that important board exam or acing a course, although that's an awesome side effect. We want to build a community of caring individuals who value lifelong learning. A big part of that is helping clinicians and caregivers remain passionate about what they do, equip them with the important tools they need to be effective in their work, and build core competencies that enhance their connections with the people they interact with. Want to join us in making an impact on health education? Contact us to see how we can partner to build a more caring world.
Hi everyone, my name is Shiv Guglani. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Osmosis, which had the privilege of winning the Reimagine Education Global Education Award back in 2015 when we were just getting started. I'd like to congratulate you all on being part of the Reimagine community and reflect on the fact that very early on, before Osmosis even had 10,000 users or subscribers, Reimagine saw the potential in us and was able to also recognize the fact that health education, training our future clinicians, doctors, nurses, physical therapists, etc., as well as their patients, was going to be very important for the future. And obviously that was really prescient with COVID. I would say the connections I made at Reimagine Education were invaluable. There were a lot of investors there who saw us and followed up with us after the conference. And while we didn't take capital right away, when we were ready to a couple of years later, they were there and I had those connections, as well as the credibility we got just by participating in Reimagine Education and connecting with many of the institutional partners that help sponsor the event as well as come to the event. So I'd really like to thank the Reimagine team for all that they did to get Osmosis on the map early on and congratulate you all. Hopefully you'll make some great connections, learn some amazing things from your people who are sitting next to you, and just build amazing lasting relationships. Congratulations and take care.
Thanks, Shiv, and congratulations on all you've achieved and are yet to achieve. And now, let's hear what winning Reimagine Education last year meant for the University of Sydney Business School with their project JobSmart Gains the Edge, innovating authentic employability at scale. JobSmart is a program designed for a cohort of over 9,000 international students with scaffolded employability skill building activities, corporate networking, and genuine workplace projects with Australian employers. It's delivered on a customised, mobile-first and gamified education technology platform, and over 5 years, JobSmart has improved student engagement 700% and improved employability by 300%. Let's hear it from Lucinda Crossley-Meets.
Here at the University of Sydney Business School, we enjoy a global student base. More than 70% are international students, predominantly from Asia. We found that this cohort weren't engaging with our traditional face-to-face career offerings and struggled to gain meaningful industry experiences. So in 2016, we designed and launched JobSmart. JobSmart is our award-winning career accelerator, innovative because it delivers authentic, personalised and gamified employability experiences at scale. JobSmart consists of a 3-phased program of skill-building activities, corporate networking and genuine workplace projects with Australian companies. It is designed to be a fun complement to students' academic studies, a warm community where they have a sense of belonging, as well as building their professional portfolio. Over 5 years, JobSmart has evolved to hit some really impressive milestones. JobSmart's success has been powered by delivery off the Practera experiential learning platform, through which students win points, get feedback through reflection cycles and engage. In the back end, high volume processing and real-time analytics help the JobSmart team manage thousands of student experiences. This drives better outcomes for us without increasing our costs. The challenges presented by COVID-19 in 2020 was a catalyst to take JobSmart to the next level, reimagining it as JobSmart Edge. We converted the previously blended program to 100% digital, tripled the number of industry experiences offered to hundreds of students located in 37 countries worldwide, and lifted activation by 23%. We took the program into curriculum with an elective unit of study pathway in partnership with our Will Hub team. We don't plan to stop there. We've got our sights set on further scale. We want as many students as possible to benefit from this proven employability framework and breakthrough technology.
So winning the award for us, particularly from the calibre of the QS committee that go into looking at the thousands of applications, was absolute validation to us that we are a world-class offering, and there's nothing else in our peer group like what we do. So it was fantastic and really meaningful to get that external validation of not just all the hard work of my team, but also our partners that we work really closely with, for example, our tech partner, Practera, and last but not least, the hard work of the students who participate every round. To me personally, what a moment. You can never take away that moment of hearing the name of my program that I've worked on since it was an idea in my head, sitting down with my tech partner and taking it to 6 and 7 years down the line. To hear your name read out as best in the world, no moment like it. So for this year's winners, savour that moment, never forget it. What difference has the funding made? Well, the last 2 years at universities around the world, we are experiencing, budget cuts, cancellations, delays, pauses, and that's our norm as we all struggle with the operational challenges. But for us, that funding, we were able to put it into designing what is it going to be that takes our program into the future? What are the next generation of enhancements and capabilities, particularly on the technology front with our partners at Practera, to not just keep students engaged, but also give them the most authentic experience possible and really change their lives, change who they are, add skill sets, add different thinking styles, change their life goals along the way. So we believe we've done that, and the funding was instrumental in really being able to power that.
Thank you, Lucinda. So now it's the moment you've all been waiting for. We're going to unveil the outcomes to the Reimagine Education 2021 competition. But first, let's understand a little bit about that competition. Has it been a record-breaking year? Have we had more entries than ever? Well, let's go take a look at the numbers. So, how do we go from 1,100 award submissions received to 160 shortlisted entries to ultimately just one winner in each of these final two categories? Well, it's not easy. There are rounds and rounds of judging processes, lots of people contributing to that online, going into detail and all the information that the best projects have submitted. And ultimately, it comes down to a decision-making process for our grand jury. Our grand jury are a group of influential education experts, passionate reimaginers, many of whom have launched their own ventures and have changed the fabric of their own institutions. Well, they spent a lot of their time looking at the final entries, going through backwards and forwards, scoring it all, and then we came together for an engaging and passionate moderation session that I had the great privilege to facilitate. The judges shared their own views, put forward the cases for their top entries from the final shortlist, and we had a really good debate about how to balance out the different dimensions of different projects. Many of the projects that we had on our ultimate shortlist were doing very different things in different ways, in different contexts, in different regions. It's quite difficult to bring that all together and pick a final winner. Ultimately, our grand jury favoured those projects that most successfully demonstrated the balance of innovation, impact, and scalability. So without further ado, let's hear a little bit more about who those judges are. And let me introduce the Reimagine Education 2021 Grand Jury. Each a Gold Award winner in their own individual categories. The finalists for the Global EdTech Award sponsored by Google Cloud are and the winner is Ubongo International.
I'd like to introduce you to Akili, who lives at the foot of Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania. Like children around the world, be they rich or poor, Akili is born with limitless potential. But as an average Tanzanian kid, she'll start school at age 5 or 6 with 177 kids in her class with one teacher. She'll share a book with 12 peers, and she'll spend most of her school life memorizing facts to pass a test. Now, let's reimagine Akili's story. Each day, they listen to the radio and sing educational songs to practice counting and new words. When Akili and her friends get a bit older, they watch fun cartoons that teach them math, science, and even coding. When her dad brings home a smartphone, Akili uses educational apps to deepen her learning and search for more, because now the possibilities are endless. Every child has a right to learn, no matter who or where they are. Over 1.2 billion kids and youth across the world have been affected by COVID-19, and they all deserve the same opportunities in education. At Ubongo, we help over 24 million kids in Africa learn learn and love to learn on whatever technologies that they have, such as TV, radio, SMS, solar, and mobile phones. We are bridging the digital divide in learning by transforming education for kids across Africa. With 2 billion more babies to be born on the continent by 2050, African kids are poised to be the largest population of change makers with the potential to solve the world's most pressing challenges. And Ubongo will be the leading actor in helping African kids actualize their potential and change the world for the better.
Congratulations to Ubongo International. I'm now delighted to welcome our sponsor Google Cloud, represented here today by Alyssa Sommer, Head of Global EdTech Business Development and Partnerships at Google.
Welcome everyone. My name is Alyssa Sommer and I lead the EdTech Partnerships team at Google. On behalf of the Google Cloud team, I want to thank all the contenders for bringing your talents and ideas to this year's Reimagine Education competition. We have been so impressed by the innovative projects that have been submitted and seeing you all build what's next for teaching and learning. These past 2 years have been tough, but the value EdTechs bring is now clearer than ever. The pandemic changed the way teachers teach and students learn as classrooms closed and more than 1 billion people switched to remote learning all at once. Today, digital learning is part of everyday life. Education technology was coming into its own even before the COVID-19 pandemic. Schools, EdTech companies, workforces, and governments were already exploring how to use EdTech to educate and train more people and make learning more interesting and enjoyable. But the pandemic hastened the shift to digital. Instead of taking years, it happened in weeks or even days. Many of you scaled up your capabilities, and the industry now serves millions of educators and students. And many of you use data, artificial intelligence, and other powerful technologies to keep the world learning 24/7. EdTech is quickly becoming an important piece of the education puzzle, redefining the art of imparting knowledge. At Google Cloud, we're privileged to work side by side with you as classrooms and workplaces reopen. And again, congratulations on being part of this community of innovators. We are honored to get to present today's Global EdTech Award winner, Ubongo International, with $25,000 in Google Cloud credits to help supercharge your idea. Thank you all again for your participation, and we're looking forward to partnering with you as you grow.
And to top it off, a word from Ubongo and their very happy learners.
When you give me something, I say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I say thank you.
And finally, we're about to present the Global Education Award for QS Reimagine Education 2021. The Gold Award winners and finalists competing for the Global Education Award 2021 are and the winner is QUT Design for Impact.
There is growing recognition globally that real lives are not disciplinary, that complex 21st century challenges such as poverty, climate change, and global health cannot be solved by a single discipline. While specialist skills and knowledge are critical, how do we reimagine education that better prepares our students for transdisciplinary collaboration? And how do we achieve this at scale? Our students need transdisciplinary skills and opportunities to tackle real-world wicked problems. Impact Labs reimagine design education across the 4 themes of place, people, planet, and purpose. In place, students explore their place as a designer. In people, students experience design for social impact. In planet, students research design for global impact. And in purpose, students focus on their design identity and direction. Through digital and face-to-face opportunities and partner collaborations, our students create transformative change for good.
The Impact Lab's purpose and moral standing is exactly why I chose to be a designer.
I've always been a hands-on learner, and Impact Lab provided the opportunity for me to learn through doing instead of just imagining.
This course has really impacted the way I approach my responsibility as a designer.
The Impact Lab model is an exemplar of transformational education principles and is endorsed across design and education sectors.
We've got a lot out of it here at Solar Buddy. We've really enjoyed it. We've really enjoyed the passion and the purpose that you've shown to the problem and the enthusiasm you've shown to create the solutions that you did.
I never imagined design education to be like this.
It's exactly what I hope to find in a university degree.
Congratulations to QUT. Now please allow me to introduce my friend and colleague, CEO of QS, Nunzia Quacquarelli, to say a few words.
Thank you, Ben. And it's my pleasure to congratulate Queensland University of Technology, Design for Impact, for winning the Wharton QS Reimagine Education Global Education Award for 2021. The judges, having reviewed so many entries, felt this one stood out for its transdisciplinary curricula and a focus on place, people, planet, and purpose, and a strong partnership with industry to provide active learning opportunities for students, really providing a template for a modern curricula to meet 21st century employment skills. So really well done to QUT. And QS has been supporting this Global Education Award since 2014 as part of our mission and vision, which is to empower 1 billion future learners to fulfill their potential. And we're delighted to continue to support this award for many years to come.
So finally, let's hear how the team behind QUT Design for Impact have taken news of their victory.
Hi everyone, we're here at Queensland University of Technology in Brisbane, Australia, and we are thrilled to be given this Global Education Award.
G'day everyone. Thank you as well, an amazing opportunity. The breadth of support from Queensland University of Technology for the Design for Impact projects has been amazing. Thank you.
This transdisciplinary curriculum project has been an amazing collaboration between the School of Design, the School of Architecture and Built Environment and the Learning and Teaching Unit here at the Queensland University of Technology.
And now that we've got our whole team together, we'd also like to thank and acknowledge the over 35 industry and community partners that have worked with us from Australia and around the world. This project just wouldn't be the same without you. Thank you.
Thanks also to the 65 members of our dedicated and passionate teaching team. Their infectious enthusiasm kindles the imaginations of our students.
Of course, we'd love to thank the student body, to the thousands of students who've strategized, stretched, collaborated and passionately offered design outcomes toward real-world problems. We trust that they will continue to expand that impact into their design futures.
Melissa. It's just such a privilege to be given this recognition through the program. So one of the most inspiring things about the Impact Labs is the opportunity to show students how design can give cause for optimism and hope. So through the Impact Labs, our students visualize alternative futures, and our hope is that they see themselves as agents for change in shaping that future.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Wow, that's a happy team. Fantastic. Congratulations once again. I'd like now to introduce a few of our grand jury members to reflect on the importance of the award and the process that they've been through and some of the entries that we've received this year.
It was my privilege to be serving on the grand jury this year, evaluating the EdTech awardees. First, I want to congratulate the more than 1,100 applicants to this year's 2021 awards.
It was an absolute pleasure and privilege to be involved in judging so many exceptional projects.
Top for me was QUT Design for Impact, an elegant approach to developing transdisciplinary skills and outlook in students while demonstrating each student's potential to make a positive contribution to sustainability in their host communities.
QUT has delivered a completely reimagined and future-proof curriculum for design. It's achieved this by developing transdiscipline impact labs for their students, which are already being adopted at scale.
I think for most of the projects, I just kept looking for some kind of outcomes and efficacy data, and that felt true almost across all of them. I was just looking for evidence of learning. So I think with this one, I agree with everything said. Like, the curriculum is incredibly innovative. This is the way in which schools should be moving forward with how they design their curriculum learning experiences. And maybe it's just unfair at this point to expect them to have more, for example, employability outcomes, but that's what I was really looking for.
I do believe that the project that's most suited to transform the future of education is Ubongo.
Ubongo Edutainment is Africa's largest classroom.
You distinguished yourself as a team, as an entrepreneurial organization for your work using creative digital media, using culturally contextualized learning, kid-centered design, and the ability to scale across an enormous marketplace.
Ubongo has designed a project that is content-driven with technology that spans across devices and distribution channels.
The content is accessible on TV and radio.
And bring learning and fun to more than 24.6 million families across the continent of Africa.
If you envision the winner once announced and the amount of exposure that they will get, what best practice are you going to put out there to impact the most change in the world? This is a global education.
The project I found to be the most potentially transformative was Insightful, who I'd like to warmly congratulate on their outstanding submission to the ICT Tools category.
You contribute to active learning at scale by addressing important aspects of the group work conundrum.
It was really wonderful to see such a strong solution designed specifically for the unique challenges created by these delivery modes. It's truly scalable, it's superbly well executed for both learner and educator, and I look forward to seeing it drive more fruitful project-based pedagogy for thousands of students, as I'm sure it's going to do.
Nottingham Business School's carbon literacy training deserves so much more than honorable mention because it's an approach to climate education that is actually working. It's open source, so free to everyone, and it's being adopted widely by others, so is contributing positively to not just climate change education, but to students creating climate change solutions.
The projects I'd give honorable mention to are Sense and Insightful. Both of these projects looked at assessment and evaluation. In today's learning space due to COVID, we need new methods of evaluation, and these attempt to do that in new and unique ways.
So our congratulations from all the judges this year's grand jury at the Reimagine Education Global Awards. Thank you.
So a final thank you to some of the amazing people on our grand jury for the time and wisdom that they brought to our process and enabling us to pick our final winners. What a fantastic competition it has been this year. We've seen countless entries representing innovation from all around the world, and we hope that you've managed to find collaborators and partners as you've enjoyed and engaged with the final stages of our competition this year. We look forward to welcoming you back next year as contestants or as judges or indeed as delegates to learn what has been happening in the world of education innovation through 2022. But remember, this is your platform. Reimagine is built by Reimaginers for Reimaginers. So if you have suggestions on how we can improve what we're doing or how we can evolve the competition or the conference, please write to us on reimagine@qs.com. That remains for me to only say, have happy holidays, a fantastic new year, and remember, never stop innovating. Thank you.
"50 years ago, the late John Lennon asked us to do one simple thing. Imagine. But could we have ever imagined the dreamers that we have celebrated over the last few days? The dreamers who have seen the next 50 years? Those who have a vision of a world without boundaries of age, race and gender, without the limitations and constraints of time, technology and geography. A world where 1 billion young people are empowered through education. Well, I know you think I'm a dreamer, but as you've seen, I'm not the only one. And this world is more than just a dream, because now we can say that we've already seen it. So, together, let's reimagine the next 50 years. Let's reimagine education. Let's imagine the 2022 Reimagine Education Awards and never stop innovating.